What's going on, guys? Good morning. How are you? Hope you're doing well. One of my most recent posts about a specific somebody talking about hooking up two vehicles, one running, one not running, because one of them's dead, the other one's not, and we need to get the one that's not running started. So what do? They hook up to another vehicle and they jump start it, right? This doesn't include jump packs. Some of it will, some of it won't. This person said that if you jump start a vehicle, one that's running, putting jumper cables up to it over to another vehicle that is not running, that when the vehicle that is not running starts, the alternators will be spinning in opposite directions, possibly causing catastrophic failure with the electronics. Now, that is absolutely absurd. One reason we have voltage regulators in the alternators, and the battery itself is an absorbing electrical shock load as it is. So, maybe back in 1930, 1940, something like that might be an issue. But fast forward years when we start getting into different phase, different voltage alternators and stuff, that's not so much a concern. This doesn't apply to people with jump packs, obviously, but I would also have to bring up, if that was the case and what was being said was true, some of these new smart jump packs are up to 17.5 volts whenever you test the amount of voltage that's actually coming out of them. They are not just clean cut and dry, 12.5 to 13.5 volts when they jump start. Some of these lithium packs, like my my Topdon 2000 and my AvaPow, you can look on your voltmeter with those hooked up and you're seeing 16.7, 16.8 volts. They really put out some juice that your alternator is not going to put out. And because it's a smart type system, it only gives you that type of capacity for starting, and then it kills itself after it's started. But that initial phase and jolt for the first few seconds is there. And if that was the case, those systems would completely annihilate an electrical system, and it still doesn't happen. Now, moving forward, let's get off of the topic of making this person look bad, okay? Now what we'll do is we'll talk about the proper way to jumpstart a vehicle. When you hook up your vehicle that's running, red to positive, which is the crosshatch, red lead of your jumper cable to the positive, which is the crosshatch, and if you don't see a red wire going to a post on your battery, or if you don't see a red cap on your positive, and even if you do see those things, always look at the front of the battery. In the plastic, right in front of the post, there's an indentation where they heat stamp what post that is. It'll say positive, and then on the other side, it'll be stamped just a little line that says negative. Black goes to negative, red goes to positive. And here's how I want you to hook up the system. I want you to hook up your positive on the vehicle that's running to the positive on the vehicle that's running on the other vehicle. And then I want you to hook up the negative on either, there's two ways you can do it. You can hook up negative to the battery on the vehicle that's running, or negative to a main engine stud, which could be an engine stud that's coming off of the block somewhere. It could be a big giant bracket that's anchored to the engine that you can get good contact with. It could be a main stud that's coming off of like the lower alternator bolt or something like that, or the upper alternator bolt. On the Transits, the battery is underneath the driver's seat, so when you have to jump start them, I use the bottom stud of the alternator or the top stud of the alternator, whatever I can get on cleaner, and I anchor my ground to that. And then I go to the ground of the other engine. And what I'll do is, after I find two good engine grounds, I'll let it sit there and charge for a second. I won't try to start it right away. I'll let it sit for about 10-15 minutes and let it slowly charge. It will charge, and after it's been running for about 10-15 minutes, I will take and try to start the vehicle. Get a feel for if it's going to crank over. If it cranks over and it starts, I will walk back over to the vehicle that's running and shut it off. Turn the key off. Then I will remove the negative post first. And then I will, on both vehicles, and then I will remove the positive post next. This deactivates my connection. I don't take the positive post off first, because if I take the positive post off first, a lot of times you'll get that electrical jolt, that spark that comes out of it. And if I put the negative on last and take the negative off first, I don't have that. That's how I jump start a vehicle. Now, the same principle applies with the jump pack. Positive to positive on a jump pack, and negative to a negative ground on the engine somewhere. Or you might find off to the side of the battery somewhere, there's a red cap for jump starting that they want you to use. Use the spot that they give you if you can. The manufacturers put in play. And then there might be like a stud with a big black wire going up to it on the firewall somewhere, over on the strut tower or something like that. And they want you to use that one stud as your ground post to put your black lead from your jump pack. You could do it the same way. You can actually jump start vehicles that way as well. Now, is the best contact directly at the battery? Yes. Yeah. The reason they don't want you going directly to the battery is in case you hook up your system incorrectly. In case you hook up your jump pack or your vehicle when you're jump starting a vehicle with jumper cables incorrectly, if you go to a ground stud on an engine or somewhere on the body of the car that the manufacturer sets out for you, it takes a lot of that shock load off of the system if there was something that you did wrong when you hooked up the cables. Now, if you go directly to the battery, everything's connected directly to it. So it's like, you know, you done something wrong. You blew a main, like a mega fuse or something like that. Now, I have personally in the past used an engine and hooked the cables up wrong, not paying attention. I don't know what was on my mind. And yeah, you'll feel the cables get a little hot, but it didn't blow any mega fuses or anything like that. And I was able to take the connections off quick, flip them back around the right way, and then fix my screw up. And I have, you know, one time, and that's it. That's all you get. One time and you're good. Now, but I've seen other people hook directly up to the battery, the cable's the wrong way, red to black, black to red, which is the wrong way, and blow mega fuses, mess up computers and stuff like that. That is a big no-no. So, I hope this somewhat helps you understand the maybe some better talking points, maybe some easier talking points on how to jumpstart a vehicle correctly. Now, you'll find some vehicles have the batteries in the back of the vehicle in the trunk or underneath the driver's seat, or some SUVs it's in between the first row and the second row underneath the carpet, or on the Transits where it's under the driver's seat. On some of the Econolines that are upfitted for commercial work, the batteries could be underneath the passenger side where their double open doors or something are underneath the vehicle, and you got to pull a tray apart, or you got to pull the stairs out of one of the Econolines that look like minibuses, and the batteries are under there. It's always good to use the contacts that the manufacturer puts in play, the red caps, the black caps that are under the vehicle, under the hood. Those are jump starting posts for a reason, and they do work. Sometimes they're not very good, sometimes they are. You have to decide that. And if push comes to shove, you use a lot of the same principles in this video for connecting directly to the battery, you'll be fine as well. But alternators do not spin in opposing directions like this person said, and when you jump start them, you know, you're gonna possibly have some kind of catastrophe and some kind of high percent regard that you're gonna mess up your computer systems. That is a myth. It doesn't happen that way. Thank you guys. Be blessed. Have a great day.